Hello, welcome to episode 3. This episode is, I actually have quite a few titles this time. I watched, what do we got here? 10 total? But one's a 5-movie box set, so it technically only counts as one. But yeah, 10 titles. I'll go through the first few pretty quickly and then just show off the last couple that I wanted to show off more. But I'm just going to get straight to it, actually. Right here. So I rewatched Smile. This is just Blu-ray. I never upgraded to the 4K. The first time I watched this, I wasn't a very big fan of it, to be honest. I found it kind of slow, too much storyline. It felt like it was trying to be like The Ring, with like lots of a deep story, but it doesn't have a deep story. It's basically just an It Follows clone. But Smiley Demon. But yeah, I did enjoy it more the second watch, with my expectations much lower. I think I gave it like a 2.5-ish or so, but I would probably keep that same score on second view. Like, all the acting's great, everything's good in it, but it's definitely worth grabbing, and they just put out a 4K, so I'd grab that if you don't have it already in your collection. And this one, I'm gonna get straight to this. This was Rawhead Rex. This is from Kino Lorber. It's got slipcover and everything. It's also 4K and Blu-ray. And what can I say about this? This one let me down a bit, because I assumed that because it got a 4K and I've heard of it, like it's a known movie, that it would be much better than it was. But don't get me wrong, it wasn't terrible. It was different. It was different. I'll just say that. Like, I'm pretty sure it's British. It's written by Clive Barker. It came out in '86, which is, I think does it have reversible art here? If it does, it's probably just the cover art. Yeah, it's just the cover art. That's the new art, or the old art that I put on the actual case, because I had the new art on the cover, or on the slipcover. So I usually do the opposite if the movie has slipcovers. 86 doesn't really star anybody that I've heard of or seen before, even, for that matter. Like, I've heard of David Dukes, but when I was watching, I could not figure out what I've seen him in before. And I didn't look it up. I just go from one movie to the next. I don't even take the time to look it up. Oh, I hate when these are like made so tight that you can't get the slip on properly. I'll put that on later. But yeah, Rawhead Rex. It's worthy of a watch. I gave it a 2 out of 5 because I know it's 80s, so saying that it's too cheesy is kind of silly, but it reminds me of Baraka from the Mortal Kombat video game series. Anybody knows what that is, but that's what he kind of looks like. And there was even a lot of Mortal Kombat feel throughout it. Like, it felt like Shang Tsung was just going to come out from nowhere and be like, "Your soul is mine." But that didn't happen. If it did, this movie would have been a 5. But it's worthy of a watch. It looked good on 4K. I'll say that. Like, it's really so it looked good on 4K, but I've never seen it on any other format, so I don't actually know what it looked like before. But because it's so low budget feeling and cheesy, I'm assuming that it probably didn't look the greatest before it got a 4K upgrade. So it looks good from what I'm judging it on, which is, I don't know. I've never seen the thing, but I would definitely give it a watch because it's different. It's fun. Just a fun movie. Don't expect a lot. This next one here, I know not a ton of people would have a big interest in this one, but I threw this on last night because the NHL playoffs are about to begin, and I am super excited. They begin this Saturday. So I threw on Jean-Claude Van Damme in Sudden Death, which I just find absolutely hilarious. Like, I don't know if I showed the back of this, just in case you want to see the special features or anything. But Sudden Death, oh man. I loved this movie when I was a kid because I was a big hockey fan back then. And I'm going to be honest, it's still great. Like, I thought it was going to... I haven't watched it in probably 20 years. And it holds up. Jean-Claude Van Damme does a great job. Powers Booth is the villain. And he tries a little too hard to be Hans Gruber from Die Hard, but some of his lines don't land. They're kind of a little too cheesy. But I mean, it's 90s action. What year did this one come out? This came out in 95. Just great. Jean-Claude Van Damme's a firefighter. He brings his kids to Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals. And terrorists take over the building. The vice president's there watching Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals. It's between Pittsburgh and Chicago. And they even have cameos from a few of the players that played on those teams back then, which I thought was pretty cool. And at one point, Jean-Claude Van Damme gets in a hockey suit and plays goalie and makes like an unbelievable glove save, which is just hilarious. And then it's your typical action movie, like he's gonna take out the bad guys one at a time kind of thing. But I don't know. You gotta watch yourself. It takes place in Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh is down by 1 goal in the movie, and they score with like 0.2 seconds on the clock to tie it, to go to sudden death overtime. And they say sudden death so many times. It cuts to the announcers that are announcing the game. They're like, "We're going to sudden death." Cuts to the billboard above the ice. It's like, "Sudden death, sudden death." That cuts to Powers Booth in back room. It's like, looks like it's gonna be sudden death. Love that. Just super cheese. Absolute cheese fest. But hey, here's the thing. If you like those classic, like, you can almost call it 80s action movies because it feels like it could be in that era, but it's a 90s action movie, and they all kind of have the same story. You know what you're getting. It's fun. I went to bed with a smile on my face last night. I think I'd give that like a 3.5 out of 5. The nostalgia helps too. This one I watched this morning, and it is The City of the Dead. This is Christopher Lee, and it came out in 1960. I had never seen this. I've had it in the collection for a couple of years, and it was put out by VCI, the spine there. And I guess I should shout out like all the companies instead of just boutique ones. Like Sudden Death is Universal, and Smile is Paramount. But I always shout out the boutique labels, but never the big labels. It's weird. Yeah, VCI put this out. This was much better than I was expecting it to be. The only thing I knew about it was Christopher Lee's in it, and I love Christopher Lee. Pretty much everything I've seen him in. There's no reversible art. Um, and he delivers, like, he plays a college professor, and one of his students is studying this town where a witch was killed however many years ago, and he tells her she should go write her paper in this town and uh, do like a history writing on it. So she gets to the town. Everybody's weird. Obviously there's witchcraft stuff going on here. It's a lot like, well, I shouldn't say it's a lot like, because it's probably one of the first ones, but everything is like it, and it's like just classic witchcraft story where a town's a cult, and it. I think the reason why I liked it so much is just because of how gothic it felt. Like it's been in black and white, and then mix that with just the beautiful lighting and scenes, and it just feels so. Like when I say lighting, I mean like moonlight and torchlight and stuff like that. It just feels very gothic. I love the feel, and the acting's all really good. Great storyline, obviously. So many movies have copied it, and the 5 decades to come after it when it came out. But yeah, I would totally recommend that. I'll probably watch that again, like, in the coming months, just to give it a second chance. But this covers, let's just say it plays a major part in the movie. It's not just cover art for the sake of it. It's a cool cover too. This next one here was my wife's idea. I have never seen this, and if I had seen it, I was really young and I didn't remember anything from it. And I got it on 4K not too long ago, and she was like, let's watch that. So I threw it in. I thought it was going to be a complete children's movie, like just made for kids. And that is Who Framed Roger Rabbit. This is the 4K edition. And man, does it look good. Like, it looked like it came out on Netflix, like, or a streaming service. Like, it looked like it just came out. That's how good it looked. It was phenomenal. It's Steven Spielberg is the producer. It's directed by Robert Zemeckis, and it stars how am I blanking on his name? Are you joking? I'm just gonna cheat and look. It's freaking crazy that I'm blanking on his name, because I've seen him in so many things and I love him as an actor. His name is Bob Hoskins. Jeez. This is what happens when you watch 10 movies in less than 48 hours. It also stars Christopher Lloyd. He's the bad guy in the movie. I'm not going to spoil a lot, because this ended up being a 4.5. Like, this was almost perfect to me. It was, oh man, the artistry in it is unreal. I couldn't even believe it. I watched all the special features. Just it has a making of on here and everything, and shows you how they did it, because he used no computer effects, so it's all hand drawn art put into the scenes, and it looks so good for when it came out. Like, this came out in, I believe it came out in like 80, what do I want to say here, 88, I'll guess. 88. Yep, 88. And I'm so glad my wife recommended this, because I probably would have never thrown it on if it was just like me by myself, because I've always thought it was just a little kids movie. But there are jokes in this that are so adultish that they wouldn't even be allowed in today's culture. Like, you'd be canceled basically for some of the stuff they say in this movie. and I was just laughing my ass off. It was it was great storyline, little twist ending. Um, what else can I say about it? Like it, uh, Jessica Rabbit. Obviously, it's like the beginning of like cartoon porn almost, because they present her so sexually that it kind of shocked me. It kind of blew my mind, which I thought I also loved. The whole movie is done in like classic film noir style, which also another one of my things I love. So it just blended everything so perfectly. The storyline's excellent. Uh, like I said, lots of great comedy, great storyline, great acting. Watch if you grab this. Make sure you watch all the special features on the making ofs, because it'll literally blow your mind at how much work went into this thing. It's just nuts. Like it really, like when I was watching them last night, I was thinking like this is one movie in my massive collection, one piece of art, and the amount of work that just goes into this one movie sitting in this massive collection. It it's so shocking. Which makes me I fall more and more in love with filmmaking and films as I watch more and more. Like it's just crazy. Absolutely love it. And the last one that I am going to bring up for this, and this is a bigger one. This is the Omen box set that came out from Scream Factory a few years ago. I have had it in the collection for quite a while. Beautiful art on this thing. Obviously, mine's got a couple little dings in it, which kind of pissed me off because it came like that. And I probably should have sent it back and got a new one, but it's fine, whatever. I'm not super worried about how mint condition my stuff is, because I never plan on selling it. It's just mine. But yeah, the artwork on this is beautiful, and I've only ever seen, going into this, before I watched all of these, I watched all these in one day, back to back to back, 5 of them. And I've had only ever seen the original and the remake before. So there's 3 here that were brand new to me, first time watches. And I'm going to start with the original, obviously. It's just the original artwork there. There's no reversibles on any of these. It's just artwork on the inside. Now, this movie to me is a masterpiece. I'm pretty sure I gave it like a 5 out of 5. If I didn't, it's a 4.5. And I'll probably up it to a 5, because it's doing things that I see a lot of modern movies doing that I don't think a lot of movies back then did. And it's stuff that has always creeped me out. It's scenes like in The Ring, where they take pictures, like they'll show you photos of the people and their faces are all distorted. Well, this does that, but in like it's showing people dying in the photos that they catch on to, and it's just really like creepy feeling. Everything in it. There's like almost no gore. There's a couple scenes. Everyone's seen the classic like girl jumping out the window to her, hanging herself for Damien. Even if you haven't seen the movie, you've seen that scene probably on documentaries and stuff like that. But it stars Gregory Peck. He's the father and politician that his child gets. I'll just keep it gets switched at birth, so he ends up raising the Antichrist, as everybody knows. And everybody does unreal jobs here. Even the little kid, his facial expressions are great. He's reacting really good at all spots where he's asked to. I'm gonna put that this way and drop them in one at a time as I do them. Back in order here. But the original Omen is a must watch, in my opinion. It's for 70s, like this came out in 76, I believe. I'm just gonna verify that. Yep, 76. And of 70s horror movies that I've seen, it's a top tier. Like, I've never done a top 70s horror movie ranking before, but I know it's top tier. It would be up there for me as one of the best out of the 70s. So, anybody that likes just classic culty movies, it's good. Now, I'm going to jump straight to this remake, and then I'll do all the sequels. This remake, here, oh man, this is a hard one. Although it's done well, like, all the acting's decent, I enjoyed the kill scenes, I enjoyed everything. The only problem is that when you're remaking, like, literally almost, like, scene for scene in some of it, like, not all of it, it's not shot by shot remake, but there's a lot of stuff they pull straight from it, and it's just, it's pointless is what it feels like. Like, if I'm gonna watch The Omen, I might as well just throw on the old one, because it's leagues better and the atmosphere is better, and everything just feels better. But I mean, like, this one is worthy of a watch. Julia Stiles and Liev Schreiber. I'm gonna check it, but yeah, there's no reversible art on any of these. And this one came out in 2006. But yeah, it's just, once you watch, if you watch the original and you watch the remake, almost like 9 people out of 10 are gonna say, actually probably more than that, probably like 9.99 people out of 10 are gonna say that the original's leagues better. So the remake doesn't really need to exist, but it does, and I'm glad Scream Factory included it in here. That's nice. What do we got here? Damien Omen 2. This one is, 78, so it's 2 years after the original. But Damien has aged about 10 years, probably. Maybe 5, no, about 10 years. 12 years. He's a, like, teenager now. He's in military school. So most of the movie takes place in a military school. And this one, at first, like, it was a bit boring, because you already know the storyline, so the intrigue's gone again, just like a lot of sequels. So it's all about, like, kills and what you can do. And there isn't a ton of kills, but the ones they do the ones they do are all done very well. And, like, this scene on the back here with the girl and the crow, that's the best kill in the movie. And it's done good. It makes your eyes focus constantly, like you are sucked in at this point. There's no I'm bored moments there. It's really good. Damien Omen 2, like, it's solid. There's a good storyline with his new adopted family, the brother. Like, he has an adopted brother. There's a good storyline there between the two of them. He's kind of finding out that he's Satan as a teenager again. Like, he knows, but he's finding out. And so even he's kind of shocked. But yeah, definitely worth a watch. I would recommend that one as well. So 3 straight of recommends here. I think I've recommended everything I've ever done on this channel so far. But then we come to The Final Conflict, The Omen 3. This one stars Sam Neill as Damien this time. And this one is 3 years. This was made 3 years after the last one. But now Damien's, like, in his mid-30s. And he's a politician. He's basically trying to take over the world. And he has a cult of followers that he calls upon. And then this is the end of the real trilogy here. And I think it's an awesome ending to the whole trilogy. I'm just going to reveal it. Like, God's son, or sorry, like, God reincarnated is going to be born. So he finds out about it, and he's going to kill He basically orders all his followers to go kill all the babies born on this day because it's the day that uh, God resurrected basically is coming. He's gonna smite Lucifer or Damien, and Sam Neill does a great job. He has a couple great speeches in it. It's like very memorable when you watch it. You're like, I feel like I've heard this before, and it's probably because I have. I've seen it on documentaries and stuff. But this was the first time watch for me again. Another like top notch. That like when I keep saying these are all top notch, I don't think any of them are as good as the original. I think the original's like a good star and a half above all these, but these are all still really watchable movies. Like they all must be seen, to be honest. The religious music that they play throughout it is freaking awesome. As soon as you get into the menu and they start having the like religious culty music going, I get excited every time. And then my last movie of this video, this one's included in here, and it's The Omen 4, The Awakening, or just Omen 4, The Awakening, not the. And this is like, this is a made-for-television movie that came out 10 years after the last one. So this one came out in 91. And I didn't even know this existed until Scream Factory decided to put it in this box set. And there's a reason, because it's terrible, to be honest. Like, it's not the worst thing I've ever seen. Like, oh, it's so hard. Like, I'd probably give it like a 1 star out of 5, not a half a star, which is like just for me the worst of the worst movies. But this is like a 1, and oh man, the first like 40 minutes of this thing is it's a little girl now, and I don't need to go through the whole plot, because to be honest, the plot's all over everywhere for the first half of the movie, and I don't even really understand what was going on. They were just jumping from scene to scene, and it was just weird, like really odd, and it made it feel like, I can't reveal that because that's the twist ending, and if you're gonna watch it, it does have like a little twist in the final act that I didn't like. You see coming, but it was done well, and I was like, oh wow, like you just bumped up from being the crappiest movie I've seen in the last month. Yeah, actually, it still is the crappiest movie I've seen in the last month, but it went from just utter garbage territory into like, okay, I can see where they were going with this. It's understandable. I'm glad I watched it. It wasn't a complete waste of my time, but it's worthy. If you're gonna watch them, you might as well finish off the whole series like I did. Watch them all, and just make a day of it, basically, is what I did. But I'm gonna do a quick little show off of everything I did here today. This is a pretty good pile for one day, or sorry, like 48 hours ish, like 2 days. But yeah, it's a decent pile. I love these box sets as well. Like, they're so, when they put some work into this artwork, it's so nice. Like, I love the just red and on the back of that with the crow. It's just really freaking nice. Love it. And him on the front with the touching the dog's head's awesome, because the dogs are a major part of all the movies, actually. And so yeah, that was it for today. I have some cool news though. Coming up next week, I am going to be doing an episode where I'm going to include a couple films from Imprint out of Australia, and they were sent to me. They liked what I was doing on Instagram, so they decided to send me add me to their press release and send me some movies here and there. So I didn't have much to pick from, but I picked a few and they sent a couple of them. I got two, which is really cool to me. Never thought in a million years I'd be saying that, to be honest. It's kind of exciting. But I haven't seen either of the two movies, so I'm going to be watching those for the first time this weekend. And I'll have I'll be doing like unboxing, not unboxing, but showcasing them off on my next maybe Wednesday's episode of next week. And then I'm gonna write full reviews and put them on my Instagram page. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. I'll show all that. I shouldn't have brought it up right now, but I'll show it next week. I was just really excited. Wanted to talk about it. So yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, so I'm just gonna get back to movie watching. I hope you guys do too. Never stop watching movies. It's freaking awesome. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you in a couple days. I got 3 days this time, but I'll see you in 3 days. Thank you.